Welcome everyone. I know I'm late on the bandwagon, but today I'm just sharing my opinions with you on Lord of the Rings Gollum. I think the majority of people's opinions are the same on this game, but I recently finished it for my Lord of the Rings of Moria video because I hadn't played Rings of Moria yet. But I thought I'd just track out a little bit of my opinion on why I believe the game to be not very good at all. First of all, you just got to start with the simple performance issues. It doesn't run very well, but that seems to be a theme with Lord of the Rings games that I've played. It has lag spikes consistently in a game I believe shouldn't have lag spikes. You know, they built it up so much to be a better game than it turned out to be. Another issue I have with the game is the look of Gollum and how Gollum sounds. You obviously follow Smeagol throughout this thing, and they have just portrayed Smeagol as this very, he just doesn't look like what Gollum looks like in the films, or act like what Gollum acts like in the films. In this show, Gollum seems to lack any element of basic intelligence, whereas in the films, you know, he's got them. He's relatively smart. He tricks Frodo into trusting him. You know, he has some sorts of intelligence. Whereas the premise of this game is based off of stupid decisions Gollum seems to make. The whole introduction of the game is him chasing a bug and falling off a cliff. It's just terrible. I'm just gonna be real. Another issue I have with the game is the story itself. It's just not creative, very repetitive, and it sort of it just makes you depressed playing it. The game makes you sad. That's not what games are meant to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I've ever been just sad playing a game, yet I was playing Lord of the Rings Gollum. Like, the game it's not the worst game I've ever played. I've played some hooters, Jesus, but like, you know, the graphics are pretty decent when you're not lagging, or having really bad frame drops. I like the wall running. That's quite fun. But then again, when isn't wall running fun in a game? You know. Back to the element of the story. You are basically captured by an orc. You try to smother him. You get captured. And the whole premise is you doing slave labor for the game. You're back and forth doing these slave labour tasks with objectives which are like, walk forward, do this, do that, with these simple objectives giving no challenge or purpose to the game. The game that is meant to give a good story doesn't have one. And I think a game, when the developers send out an apology letter, they send out an apology to the players, I feel like that speaks for itself. And I know I'm late on hopping on the Lord of the Rings Gollum hate bandwagon. I'm probably about, just under a year late. But I couldn't play the game and not speak up about, what it was like. And also how the Lord of the Rings Return to Moria is such a vast improvement, even though it is a completely different premise. But yeah, overall, the gameplay and the story, it's pretty much just not there. Feels like you're watching paint dry, and you come off that game just like, what am I doing with my life? It doesn't give you that like cheer like games like Ghost of Tsushima or Elden Ring or God of War that I've played through. It just doesn't get. I know I'm comparing big studios to a smaller studio, but I've played small studio games with very good stories, and this just had no feeling to it. And if you have any other games you want me to review or give my opinions on, just drop them in the comments. I'd probably give Lord of the Rings Gollum a 3 out of 10. That might even be generous.